Let's get this party started. I ain't sure. Do I have something? I can't even tell. What is going on, everybody? This is Yvonne Reborn in the flesh, live. What's up? Today was a really interesting day. And, oh crap, there's something that I knew I wanted to have ready, but I will take a break in the middle, and we're going to get started very, very soon. I know that there's a delay. I know some of you is going to take a hot minute to come in. Pero here we are. One of these days I'm going to figure out how to do this so that we are all live, like everywhere, like on YouTube, like everywhere, YouTube and Instagram and all those places. Pero it's been a challenge. So right now we're going to stick to what works. And what works right now is to be live on YouTube until I'm able to figure it out. In the meantime, I wanted to say that it has been a pleasure for those of you who have been, was it like today? I don't know. I think it's another one. Anyhow, I just wanted to say that it's been lovely to have many of you grace my lives, and our discussions have been lovely. And I've absolutely enjoyed having all of you to talk and discuss. And I want to make sure, hold on, because vamos a ver if there's anybody on. Like, I can't see. Okay, perfect. Uy, tengo calor. It's hot. Hold on. So if you can, let me know where you are listening from. And we are going to get started. It has been quite a journey for me to re-listen to some of these past episodes, because it has, hey, I see you. Mwah, bendición, aboru, aboye. It's been a challenge to listen to the earlier episodes. I haven't heard them. A lot of those. So the first couple of episodes, I think, were at the end of 2017, I think it was, or 2018. Algo así. It's been a minute. And I didn't know where this podcast was going to go. By the way, I know I did not record this week, and I had an interesting week last week, and when I record these episodes, I want to make sure that I give you 100%. And I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that. But yes, episode 107 will be coming soon. So I see a bunch of you have come in. That is great. See, I love my priests, man. I love my priests. I am going to ask everybody, if you get a moment and you haven't in my page for my channel, to click on the little bell icon so that you can be notified. That would be amazing, because then that way I don't have to send out weekly reminders, and you guys will just have it right away. So I would appreciate that, and I'll probably do a reminder at the end. I mean, it just takes like 2 seconds, and I don't go live all the time, so I promise I'm not going to harass you. I totally promise. Let's see. We're going to get started. I was trying to figure out which episode to start with. We did one. I wanted to do something a little more lighthearted. There's a particular episode that I've been dancing around, and I don't want to do it just yet. And that episode to this day is one of the most hated episodes of the podcast. And I want to wait until we have a lot more people to discuss that episode. And mind you, I still stand by that episode. I remember the hate that I got. And I'm like, ooh, when am I going to do that one? Because that one was rough. Hold on, let me move my laptop over. And so today, I haven't heard this episode in a while, but based on the title alone, I have an idea of what we're talking about. So hold on, I'm going to delete like everything else so that I just have the few tabs that I need. So this episode is episode 13. Let me see when it came out. De curiosidad. Okay, this episode came out on Sunday, May 6, 2018. So this is one of the early episodes. And it is called Session 13. Leave the mixing to the kitchen, not your spiritual readings. I'm scared. I haven't heard this in years since I put that out there. So vamos a ver. Let me know. Hold on a second. Let me check the chat. What's up? Let me know if you guys are ready and we can start playing el episodio. So déjeme saber. I need more music to hang out. Let me put that down here on things to do. Music to hang out for the Roadcaster. I love the Roadcaster Pro. I love them. I don't know how many people I've referred to go get their stuff, but I love it. So you guys ready? Let me know in the chat if you guys are ready and we can get started. So in the meantime, voy a buscar because it was something that I wanted to show you, pero por supuesto se me olvidó. Go figure. All right, hold on a second. Why do I have... that I have something here. Oh, I see. All right, let me go check the chat. Excellent. Pa'lante, como se dice. Vamos. Ready? I did click it. I'm clicking.
You're listening to the Orisha Wisdom Podcast session.
I don't hear it.
You're listening to the Orisha Wisdom Podcast, Session 13.
Wait a second.
Welcome to the Orisha Wisdom Podcast, where positivity and spirituality create an enhanced life's journey with the wisdom of Ifa and Orisha. I am your...
Me asusté. Let's get this party started.
You're listening to the Orisha Wisdom Podcast, Session 13. Welcome to the Orisha Wisdom Podcast, where positivity and spirituality create an enhanced life's journey with the wisdom of Ifa and Orisha. I am your host, Iya Omileti Olubumi.
Not no more. I'm just saying.
Welcome to the Orisha Wisdom Podcast, and thank you so much for listening, for your time, for hanging out with me. So grab a cup of coffee, grab a tea, some munchies, and let's spend some time together. Today's topic is leave the mixing to the kitchen, not your spiritual readings. You might be like, what is going on here? Okay, let me explain. What does a spiritual reading bring to you? Peace? It's a good one. Freedom? Self-worth? Purpose? What about clarity? And there's a ton of other great adjectives and feelings and effects and outcomes that can come from a spiritual reading. So we didn't cover it above for obvious reasons. We would be here for days. But why is this important? And why do any of those questions have to do with the topic? You know that I like lists, so I am going to give you 5 reasons why not to attend a mixed reading. You're like, well, what does that mean? What is a mixed reading? All right, so we'll go straight into number 1. Bringing different systems into one reading is not honoring any one single system. So if you go to a person and you're going to get a tarot reading with the Meridilogun, those are the 16 shells for Orisha, or a Meridilogun reading with astrology. I love this one. I actually heard about this one and I didn't know how it worked. Ifa reading with a pendulum reading. I've also heard of Orisha readings with the runes. That's a pagan divination system with symbols. Oh, this one has happened many times. A Meridilogun reading with a palo. I still haven't seen how that happened, but it happened combined and together. And there are many others. Let's see, it could be Meridilogun or Ifa with, I don't know, a chalice and just another system. So if you're bringing 2 systems together, it's not honoring either one of those systems. They're not with the same deities. It's not the same pattern. It's just not even the same tradition, faith, or even religion. And yes, I'm even talking about Palo Mayombe because Palo Mayombe comes from the Congo region, which is not from where Orisha traditions come from.
I'm going to pause here for a second. So I literally just had this conversation a couple of days ago where we were talking about Palo Mayombe. And the conversation was that even the people from Congo, they have no idea what Palo Mayombe is, even looking at it. And the issue that they were having is that they were asking, like, what is that? Because in their traditions, although they do have African spirituality, it doesn't look like the Palo Mayombe that we recognize here. Anyhow.
So a reading that combines both of those, it's a little tricky and not in a good way. So number 2, readings in different traditions may deal with different entities and can bring confusion. Let's go into the Meridilogun and Palo. Again, Palo comes from the Congo region. Orisha comes from Nigeria. Let's just name the country Nigeria. An Orisha is not the same thing as an Mpungo, or it's not even the same words. They're not read the same way. They don't have oduns the way that an Orisha would. So they may use shells, but it's 2 different systems, completely different deities. And that's confusing. Even if it's something similar, the ebo and everything else is going to be completely different. Oh, that brings us to number 3, the ebo portion. The sacrifice portion, ebo, is the Yoruba word for sacrifice. The ebo portion, the prescribed ebo, may bring conflict. Why is that? Let's say that you're looking for a job and you go to a priest and they say, oh, you need to do something with Obatala and with Eshu. And you're like, okay, this sounds great. Let's get going. And then you get another message from another deity in another system you also have to do, and it conflicts with the above. Each Orisha has certain taboos. And each system, each deity will have its own taboos. Let's talk about a system that doesn't have deities. Now let's go to the pendulum part. Let's say that we're going to go back to this part of the Obatala and Eshu.
I'm going to pause for a bit. I remember a bit gosh, definitely 2016, 2017. I remember that Facebook was it. That is where we were all at. Even though YouTube was good, Facebook is where we were all at. And there were a lot of people that were conducting readings. Um, they were doing videos, they were doing discussions and almost panels, but not in the way that they're done now. And they were done telling people, for example, using the Orisha tarot. By the way, I'm a fan of tarot. I'm not knocking tarot. Let me bend this a little bit over. I'm not knocking the tarot system for those of you who know me. And if you don't, I love the tarot system. But would I say who's your guardian angel based on the tarot? No, I would not. However, I have my tarot. I know people who are santeros and they have the tarots, but they don't mix them because it's a totally different system. And I remember seeing the pendulum girl. That's why I brought that up, because it wasn't that I was infuriated. I really wasn't. I think it was that what I saw in that discussion is how a lot of people were taking that information to heart and to the bank. I had issues with that. And I'm looking at this young girl. She believes it. She believes with all of her heart that she was giving a message from the Orishas based on the pendulum. I've seen tarot people do it. I've seen scrying with scrying mirrors and scrying whatever. I've seen that. And the thing is, I was also having a discussion this week that we tend to box Orishas in a space. So I don't know. So I just wanted to interject as we continue. And keep in mind that we tend to box Orisha in. Okay, seguimos.
Portion, right? And we're going to go to get a job and the above. And then you bring in a pendulum. That's funny. Who's controlling that pendulum? Do you have absolute proof that it is Eshu or Batala? An Egun, maybe? Who's Egun? Is it yours? Is it the priest's? Is it just random Egun that was passing by and said, ooh, they're doing something fun. Let me see if they can hear me. And they start shifting that. There is no proof. So when you're dealing also with other ways of getting a reading done that don't have a definite, tradition or entity, who's shifting that? The reason why I really, truly, truly love systems that have a match with their deities, for example, Lukumi, Yoruba, traditionally Sheshe, Balomajombe, Vudan, Candomblé, and even some of the pagans, Hinduism, there's other systems that I really like. It's because when you are conducting, or when they are conducting divination, it is linked to a particular entity. It's not left to the wind or whatever spirit is flying by. They can say, oh, this rune fell for whatever. This, God or goddess speaks. So in our system, this Odun fell. So this Orisha speaks. Let's go look at this possibility of Ebos and in which orientation it goes, because now we know exactly where it's coming from. So if you're doing things with different systems, especially those that don't have a particular deity, you're leaving your readings to chance.
I'm going to stop that for a second. Can't wait to look at the chat. Okay. No, we're still okay. It works very differently. Yes. So Baba Esteban, I just saw your post, and yes, you're right. Even with Ocha and Ifa, The two systems are different. Also, when it comes to palo in Cuba is nothing like one in Angola. It works very differently. Like I heard the fundamento, they look at the ones that we get here and they're like, what the hell is that? Just saying. Okay. When you're dealing in a particular system, then you're going to be dealing with the entity. So I just want to state very clearly that I'm not negating the spirits for tarot, for example, or pendulum, but I think that you still need teachers in order to assist you to help you decipher certain things. Okay, seguimos.
That something may go very, very wrong because now an Orisha is talking and then some random spirit is talking and there is no way of verifying that through what is going on. So this conflict may come from different cooks in the pot. Number 4, getting a reading mixed with 2 or more traditions does not give respect to anyone. Okay, so let's go back to the Obatala and the Eshu and the job issue. So I'm going to this priest and they're doing the Ebo with Obatala and Eshu and I need a job like right now. That's fine, right? And then they're going to do the water gazing and we're going to do tarot and we're going to do the pendulum. Well, I wouldn't blame Eshu if Eshu is like, so you're coming to me and now you're coming to that and to that and to that. You don't trust that I can fix your job situation. So now you're going to bring in, what is this dangling thing? You're going to bring some cards and crystal gazing or I don't know, whatever it is. This doesn't give them respect. If you're bringing 2 traditions completely different, let's say Palo Mayombe and Orisha traditions, then you're not honoring either or. Those deities will be like, well, if I'm not enough, have them fix it or have someone else fix it. And honestly, I wouldn't blame them if they did that because it's like when a kid comes to one parent and will say, hey, Dad, can I have a candy? And the dad is like, well, I'll think about it. And then they go to mom on the sneak, like, Mom, can I have a candy? And if parents talk, most likely the answer will be no, just because you did not wait until one parent could resolve the issue. Same here. So it's not like, oh, don't get mixed readings because they're going to get mad. But think about it. You're dealing with deities. They are aspects of God. They are an essence of God. And now you're going to get a reading that goes for the mighty Eshu and, I don't know, cards? Really? How do you think that is honoring each one of those traditions? Another reason why is because we cannot bend the will of God. We cannot just twist that, oh, well, I want a job, so I'm going to go to Obatala and Eshu. But I know that when I get a little, feeling with these cards, they usually go in my favor. The truth is, you cannot bend the will of God by using different divination systems to try to get you what you want. Another one is that you have to give honor to the one system that you are seeking help in. It's so disrespectful, not only to the deities themselves, but to the system and to the priests who really have undergone the study in this one system. Not everybody can be a specialist in everything, unless you are the owner of that crystal skull. But that is a movie. Maybe it's real. Who knows? But we are in these traditions and we have to just honor our one that we are seeking help in. Which brings me beautifully into number 5. There is power in one's faith when one belief system is called upon in helping us with our one thing, whatever that one thing is. So, if I go to the Virgin of the Tomatoes, ta-da, for help in, I don't know, puppy rearing. I have a dog, so puppy rearing. And I get a reading with the Virgin of the Tomatoes, and I listen to the advice given under her system of the tomatoes. It will give me the strength to work on my puppy rearing, raise my faith in the Virgin of the Tomatoes, and give me more meaning with my connection with her, with my faith with her, one focus. Of course, the Virgin of the Tomatoes is not real. I actually stole that from my husband. I loved the saying so much that I took it as my own. There is no such thing, but it basically puts a humoristic look into how people's beliefs are. So if I choose to believe in Orisha and people think that's weird, usually I'll respond to them. Does it really matter if I believe in this or the Virgin of the Tomatoes? If it makes me feel like a much better person, it makes me want to be a better person, it makes me feel more positive, and usually say, no, it doesn't matter. So I kept the Virgin of the Tomatoes. Don't try to Google it. It doesn't exist. Unless it's probably on one of my blog posts, but it's just an example.
I still use that.
So if you go to the Virgin of the Tomatoes, you just have one thing that you are connecting with, one purpose, one goal, one system. Ifa has a proverb, a saying, and it is the goat has 4 legs, but can only go one way. No matter how many systems you are familiar with, you can only follow one at any one time. No matter what, you can only do one ebo for one system at a time. You can only focus on one thing at a time. You could be a Wiccan priest of the order of the whatever. You can be a Palo priest. You can be a Voodoo priestess. You can be a Candomblé priestess. You can be a priestess from the order of the Virgin of the Tomatoes and an Orisha. It doesn't matter. You still can only do one thing at a time. So when it comes to readings, it is best to honor one system at a time. And please, please do not try to prove me wrong by holding 2 chickens on top of 2 different vessels on 2 different systems. I'm sure somebody can prove me wrong on doing simultaneous ebos. It is not the purpose. The purpose is we as priests are working to provide the community with clarity, with purpose, and not confusion. This totally defeats the purpose. And the folks that are going to get readings, we are trying to get clarity and purpose. We do not need a mishmash of stuff trying to resolve one problem. So now what? What do you do if you go to a reading and you see Priestess so-and-so take out her shells and you get your Orisha reading, and then take out the chalice of the goddess so-and-so, or a tarot deck of cards, even if it is the tarot of the Orishas, which is not Yoruba, by the way. And that does not mean that you're getting an Orisha reading. It's just a tarot reading with different pictures on it. Or a pendulum. I'm still puzzled about that pendulum bit, but a pendulum. Or ask you 20 questions for your astrology reading to follow. Well, simple. You just tell her or him, no, thank you. I would just like to have my reading with Orisha or that other system that you would like. Maybe you like tarot reading, and that's okay. Maybe you like chalice of the whatever, okay. Maybe you just want a pendulum, an energy reading. What I'm saying is to keep each system locked in its own area to get the maximum results for that one thing. So how to prevent from even getting to that spot that you have to be like, no, Iya, I really do not want this. Let's just stick to Orisha. How do we even prevent that? I have 2 quick solutions for you. 1, when setting up an appointment with anyone, priestess, a spiritualist, a person who connects with the beyond, whoever, find out what kind of reading it will be. If you really like this priest, just tell him, listen, I just prefer one type of reading. I do not want a combination. It's a little too confusing for me. I just want this type of reading. Can you just do that? And if they try to sell you on the benefits, and I'm sure that the lists will be long, stick to your guns. And I'm going to tell you why in just a bit. But the second point of how to avoid even getting to the, that awkward, like, please, I just want one reading. When you arrive to your reading, before it starts, be sure to confirm what kind of reading you will be receiving. Just in case, a mild case of selective amnesia gets that priest or priestess or spiritualist, just to make sure, what kind of reading is this going to be? Oh, I'm going to do, these 3 together so that, no, I just want this one. I just wanted to make sure, okay, I just want this one. And usually people will honor that. Now, this is not to knock down any tradition or religion. Not at all. I know many priests that have initiations in different traditions. To be honest, the first babalawo that I worked with was initiated into another tradition completely different than Orisha. It's like night and day. However, when it was our turn to meet for a reading, he only read me with Ifa, not with a candle, not with tobacco, not with the gypsy lady cards. It was just Ifa. He was there as a babalawo to honor that tradition. So I don't knock that at all. There are folks whose journey takes them through many traditions, and this is great. If you have to walk on these different paths, then you can keep it all together and remember everything from every tradition. That's great. If you had to be a Catholic and then Muslim and then a monk and then an espiritista and now you're an Orisha, and then a palera too, somewhere in there. And then you had to wind up as a Ifa, Awo, Yanifa, Babalao, whatever. That is great. However, this doesn't give you the green light as any priest to mix them like sancocho. That's like a Latin stew. We call it sancocho. So this doesn't give you the right to create spiritual sancocho because you are well versed in all of these spiritual paths. This is a message to help folks avoid confusion and additional readings and additional ebos. So remember the question in the beginning, what does a spiritual reading mean to you? What does it bring? Remember peace, freedom, self-worth, self-esteem, purpose, and clarity, and the list goes on and on. When you go to a spiritual person or a priest, you are seeking clarity. And although bundled packages may sound like a great deal, but the unseen portion, basically the not yet materialized troubles that may come along with it, just are not worth it. So this is really coming from a place of love. And honestly, you will already spend going to a reading, getting the money for that said reading, getting the items needed for whatever prescribed ebo, sacrifice, whatever it is that you need to do, which will mostly not be free either. So you may need to get, yams. It could be a chicken. It could be something. It could be food. It could be whatever. More time to get those items that are needed. Or, you know what? It could be time doing the said ebos, the different ones. So even if it's not something that is paid, it could be, I don't know, 21 nights of prayer to this one and then some other thing. That's time. That's time that now is away from your personal schedule that you are allotting to this ebo. And then more time thinking about your reading, especially if you took notes or you recorded it and what you thought and what you felt. How are you processing it? How are you going to make changes? This is all part of getting a spiritual reading. So imagine now you're doing readings with the Virgin of the Tomatoes and Obatala and Eshu came out in the other part. Now you have two sets of things that you have to do. This is not clarity that you are getting. This is actually doing a disservice to you. So wouldn't you just like to keep the above portion to a minimum? Do what you need to do instead of multiplying that, because now you have to appease two entities, two systems, or settle some of the confusion that now has come up because you had to do different reading. Well, one reading, but with different systems. You know, I'm sure that this has worked for some folks. I'm sure I've heard that some of them have, but many of the stories that I've heard have not ended so well. Not every reading will go awry and crazy, but isn't it better to prevent than then having to repair? If just sticking to one system is going to bring you that one purpose that you need, isn't that worth it? Isn't that something that just entices you just to do it just one simple way? Just because it is done one way and just because it's one simple answer doesn't take away any of the meaning and the strength that is behind it. Do you know what I mean? So with that, let's keep the mixing to the kitchen and not our spiritual readings. Remember, so not worth it. So let's keep the mixing to the kitchen and not our spiritual readings. We have reached the end of this episode of the Orisha Wisdom Podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and for your support. For show notes of this episode, go to www.orishawisdom.com/session 13. Can you believe this? 13 episodes. Wow. If you want to catch up on past podcast episodes, that is super easy. Go to www.orishawisdom.com/podcast. All of the podcast episodes are there. You can binge listen to them there.
To go check.
These are binge without the calories approved. And who doesn't love binging on good stuff? So you can go there and listen to them at www.orishawisdom.com/podcast. So with that, until next time, may all of the elevated ancestors and all Orisha bless you immensely. Odabo. Thank you for listening to the Orisha Wisdom Podcast. Be sure to check out the show notes at orishawisdom.com/podcast. Can't get enough of Orisha Wisdom? Check us out at orishawisdom.com and subscribe to our community. Remember, the wisdom of Ifa and Orisha is all around us. Be blessed, and until next time.
All right, everybody. First of all, thank you so much for being here today. I wanted to get something ready for you, pero you know what? You guys are the first to see it. Let me see if it's ready. First of all, what did you guys think? First of all, when I came back to the chat, I was cracking up. First of all, I'm going to find out with the Pope of the Tomates to see about getting y'all initiated and to see which type of tomato it is that you fall under, because it's very important que tipo de tomate you are. So, and that way we can direct you further to the correct version of the tomates for you. Okay. So yes, to you who are eating, baba bendición. And yes, la madre de los tomates. You know what? I used to hear that a lot. Hold on a second. Okay, for those of you who are here, it only takes a second. On the top right of your screen, there's a little bell icon for my channel. And if you can, just click on it. And that way, whenever I come live, you'll get notified. Now, I had something very, very special to show you. And the truth is, you're the first to see it. Actually, some people have gotten this as gifts. But I am going to, yes, bendición. Ah, my favorite uncle ever. I'm going to show you something that I've been working on, but a lot of people don't know that I do that. They've seen a couple of things, but I am going to offer, and I'm going to give this link here. And I'm going to show it to you first, because did you know that I happen to do, espérate. Ahí vamos. Do you know that I do stationaries? So I thought that I had this one up, pero no, I don't. And I'm like, why not? And I'm like, we're going to have to correct that. And so now we're going to have to correct that. Hold on. I want a good music, pero no se puede. So I decided to create a very, very, very special something for all of you who are here. I create stationery. This is not thin paper, and I normally would sell anything, and this is what I was thinking about, 24 pages at a shot, and that was it. But I'm going to do something very special. I have two designs for Oshun. This is one that's fully, complete, except I have to cut it. All right, at the very top, it says Oreyeyeo, and these are note pages. I think they're size A5. So what I decided to do is that I am going to include 20 of both designs. So 20 of that design, which you got to see one finished copy. And this was one of the samples that I had. I don't know. Can you see it? I'm trying. That's why I can't see the screen right now. So you would get 40 sheets. And of course, the 40 sheets of the one that I just showed you, but you guys got to see it complete. I'm sorry, I'm trying to place it. And what I want to do is that I am going to do free shipping for the US, and the price is ridiculous. It's $35 including free shipping. So if you guys really want this, I can appreciate that. I love creating for the Orishas. I really do. I sit here sometimes to do stuff like stickers. But today I'm offering just 40 sheets, which is, I've never done that. I've only sold them in sets of 24. Pero ahí estamos. So I have put the link into the chat. If you guys are interested, just go in there, order, and I will get it to you. Now that we are done with that, and you have already clicked on the little bell icon, tell me, what did you think of episode 13? I'm going to be looking at the chat. Vamos a ver. Hold on. Let me see. That looks really sad. Okay, I like that one a little better. It doesn't make me want to morirme. That's not true. The other one is like really meditative and it's really nice. Pero ahí estamos. So let me know, what did you think about the episode? I'm going to tell you something that I wrote down. And I wrote down with a really, really big star, because when I sit here, I sit and I make notes. And I wrote something because back then I couldn't believe that there was something even better than Orisha. I know. Please don't kill me. Santos, muertos, Egun, spirits of everybody. Please don't kill me. But I really did believe that. And I wrote something which, if I were to redo that episode, I would say this. The spirits may direct you to the system that will be best understood by you. And what if, oh, eso está like real loud. At least I hear it real loud. What if you just came from an IFA reading and you're overwhelmed and you don't, you know what I mean? Like you're confused. What do? You understand? So I don't know. I honestly don't know to claim that I know everything. And this is what I have had many discussions, that the more we know is the less we know. And I had this discussion very, very recently con un hijo de Yemayá. Mafere fue un Yemayá. And Yemayá, I love her children. I really do. I thought I was one of them. Anyhow, we had the discussion that we as humans tend to box the spiritual world. And we are not that mighty and that divine to box spirits that probably have had thousands of years of incarnations, have helped who knows how many people, hundreds, thousands, quien sabe, in their cycles. And here we are trying to say that this spirit cannot do something. So what are your thoughts on that? I'm looking at the chat. I haven't seen anything coming new, pero let me know. Let me know what you thought about this episode. And again, I still feel that going into a system that already has a system and you're coming in with something, mind you, again, I love runes. I love runes. Runes were one of the first divination system that I truly, truly connected with. Love tarot. Love my tarot readers. I know readers that can do a pendulum like badass. I've met witches that they do the little stickity thingies. I don't know what it's called, but there's two metal thingies and the shit. Oh shit. I've seen it do some stuff. So everybody has their ache. I just think that if I'm going to go to a French restaurant and I am going to be the head chef, I can't come in with Szechuan cooking because it's not a Chinese restaurant. It's a French cuisine that we're going to. And I think that sometimes being respectful is it's just the way to go. And it's very different if I were to say, I'm going to create a piece of art where Kuan Yin is hugging Oshun. We know that there's two different systems, but there's similarities and we're paying homage. I think that's very different than going to crown Kuan Yin. That would be like totally wild. Oh no, that's because, whatever. I feel strongly, I could change my mind unless I'm taught otherwise, that I think we should adhere to the system that we're being taught. If we're learning something else later, pues está bien. Pero si no, no. All systems are great and work well, but it's like you said, mixing is no bueno. And it's not even that I'm saying, it's just like, there was a girl, I don't remember her name, but many of you probably know about this young lady who used to go on lives, and she used to tell you based on her tarot who your head Orisha was. And she looked, you could tell that she was not doing it from a malicious point. She believed it. But was it right? And here's the thing. I'm wondering, at the same token, even on what we just said. So there was a point in that episode. Espérate que se me va a descargar la lamparita esa. There was a place in the episode where it said, oh, you're coming to me and now you're going somewhere else. And this is where I began to write, the spirits may direct you to the system that will be best understood by you. Here's the thing. Somebody like Eshu, who has, if you look at many old Patakis, they will say that Eshu was here before any of the Orishas were. He was always here. And there's a great Pataki story about that, which I heard. And I tell that one often because it kind of shocked me. Let me know if you want to hear it. I'll do a very quick brief of it. And if not, and you want to support me, go to Patreon, because I'm going to make the video there. Actually, I'm going to write that sucker down. Eshu Pataki. Okay, hold on. One of these days, I'm going to have all these links ready. You know, I'm becoming a professional crazy person that I don't even know when to have my damn links ready. Just saying. Here's the Patreon if you want to support. Of course, if you want your stationery, get that. Now, back to the Patakis. Eshu is one that is known to speak all the languages. He has been around. He's an observer of humanity. So what if you do the divination of the chapstick, and that is what he's going to get that message? Do you think he'll get that message to you? Yes, he will. But I just think that going out willingly to do a divination from one system and then doing it in the name of another system, I don't know. I just don't know. Yes, I agree with this. Only Orisha or Ifa can determine one's Orisha de la cabeza. Yeah, but here's the challenge. I watched that live, and I wasn't live. Sorry, that's not true. I watched the replay of that live, and you could tell she really did believe this. But what bothered me the most is that she had a lot of people on that original live. And many more people kept going to her. She's like famous on Facebook, whatever, and spiritual stuff. And she does, you know, she has many decks of tarot. And was the advice good? I don't know. I didn't have no diloguns in front of me, and I sure as hell didn't know how to do anything with the tarot. So the issue is como el ciego siendo el líder de otro ciego. It's like the blind leading the blind. And here I am still casting judgment, but I wonder if there's another plan that we don't know about. Because we in our traditions, we tend to be very like, this is mine. You're doing that wrong lineage. My lineage is better. This is how it's done. No, eso está mal. That is wrong. And so here, I'm wondering. Sometimes I question a lot of things, and I've heard spirits say that we tend to name things and box things, but spirit is not like that. Energies like Orishas are not like that. So at the same token, this is what I believe at the moment, that we should kind of be respectful. Okay, let me take that back. We should be respectful to the lineage that we're working with and do our best to master that one. So if I'm going to be a Wiccan priestess of Hecate, and in whatever, because she has her own lineages too, and I'm going to be a priestess of Oya, and of course we got our own deal over here, and I'm going to be a priestess of Oya Lukumi, I can't be doing priestess of Oya traditional. I don't have no business doing that. It's a different tradition. It's a different process. It's a different fundamento. It's a different initiation. It's a different everything. So I still, on the most part, agree with everything that was said. I also now realize that maybe that may not be the way you understand things, but I think that we should do the respectful thing. And it's, I'm trying to find, like, I will never imagine that the Pope is going to be doing, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know, whatever other religion in the middle of, you know, the Vatican. I just don't see that. But I do see other leaders coming there, or he visiting other spiritual leaders and paying respect in their home. And I think that that's what we should do. So in Orisha House, we do things the Orisha way. Understand that in Lukumi, there's the Ramas and there's the different lineages within the Ramas, and different houses do things differently as they do in Africa. So people don't think that it's just a Lukumi thing. That's not true. Everywhere. I understand also Candomblé has their own set of rules, and Voodoo has their own set of rules. So yeah, I think this is kind of cool. I like to have these discussions because I think that it is wonderful to remember that we need to be respectful of our traditions, and not I don't appreciate when other people make fun of them, because sometimes they need just to be educated, not made fun of. And who the fuck are we to make fun of them? I don't care if we have 100 years in whatever. No es importante para estar relajando or making fun of someone because they may think that that's the way, or maybe they were taught that way. And I think that we should educate con paciencia. I think that we should just be a little kinder to our brothers and sisters, even when they're doing something that's wrong. But coming down on them in that way, I don't know. I don't also agree with that. Anyway, what do you all think? Because we're about to end this live. And again, I'm going to remind you, if you haven't done so already, go to right up top where you see my little thing, or at the bottom if you're on your phone, there's going to be a little bell. By now, you should have subscribed. And if not, why not? Why not subscribe? And if not, just put the bell, click on the bell icon. And the link to my Patreon is there. And if you want to, ¿dónde está? You see, that's why I can't be left alone for too long, because I do things. I can't be left alone. I'm telling you. So I'm going to be doing something that I've never done, which is, ahí vamos. It is stationary. It's not going to say spiritual things, by the way. I had to do that because I was going to make sure that they were available for people to print on their own. And I'm going to be sending 40 sheets. 40 sheets of each of the designs. So here's one, but this is heavy duty. I love this. And I would love for you to tell me what you think when you receive it. I mean, I like it, but I'm weird that way. I like paper. I like art. So if you would like it, let me put, although the link is already on the chat, but there you go. It's going to be a PayPal link for you to get the stationery of Oshun. Oreyeyeo. And I think we're good, you know. Oh, let me see. Hold on. I just got a comment. I once knew a person who would determine your Orisha via numerology. Was she always correct? I don't know. She didn't have Ocha made, but was marked for a daughter of Yemaya. You know, it's funny. I actually saw somebody, and they were made fun of mercilessly online. And she said that through your birth chart, she could tell who your Orisha would be. Have I gone through it? No, I have not. I cannot say, pero I don't know. Could it? I'm never going to claim that I know everything. It could be, quien sabe. Se me enfrió el té. This is a tea, because I'm Chinese. By the way, really funny afterthought. Jacob is now Chinese. He has discovered hot pot. Ay, Dios mío, las cosas de estos muchachos. But I'm not complaining, because that will mean added vegetables on his body, and he's gonna grow even better. Anyhow, bueno, everyone, it has been just about an hour, and I'm trying to keep these no more than an hour, although we've had a lot of fun. Y'all have been a little bit too quiet today. I don't know. Meeting. Don't make me. But I have to tell you, I've enjoyed having you here with me. Thank you so much for your time, for hanging out with me, and for your thoughts. And if you want to hear the episode again, it is, I'll post it, porque lo tengo aquí, because I actually used it. Okay, vamos. If you want to hear it and you want to hear the other episodes, I just posted it on Podbean. And yeah, ahí vamos. So everybody, I just want to say, thank you again. We're going to do this again next week on Thursday. I am going to be sending beforehand, although today is when I did the scheduling. But yes, we're going to be here next week, Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And I love you so much. May all of your elevated spirits, man. Mira, you know what? Let me even do this. May the spirits that you have in your spiritual core that are not fully elevated yet, may they get there quickly. But in the meantime, may they help you with whatever it is that they need to do so that your life will be more pleasant, so that you will learn all your lessons quickly and you don't have to repeat this crazy hellhole that is called Earth. I'm just saying. And if you do, it'll be you being a lot more elevated. I need to start making cards again. You know what? I make cards. Anyway, all right, guys. I will see you next week. Mwah. Now I got to find a way to exit, but I will. And I love you so much.